BanBan, a red devil-like monster and the lead mascot of the kindergarten that is his namesake. He tells kids to share and care or he'll take their pancreas. He makes his debut in Garten of BanBan 2, where he proves to be the least hostile out of all the monsters. He plans to help the player in their mission of finding their children, claiming someone, far stronger, has them. However, a letter from a child reveals BanBan as the evil red man. In Garten of BanBan 3, he becomes an antagonist near the end of the game, in which he was mysteriously hijacked into becoming a more hostile, taller, scary, and monstrous form of himself, where he has a slight muscular build, pupilless eyes, a wide open mouth with sharp teeth, and more demonic-like horns. Banbaleena, a white monster who encourages the spreading of kindness. She's also the female counterpart of BanBan. In Garten of BanBan 2, she rescues the protagonist from Opila Bird and leads them to her classroom to attend class. She will then give out basic questions for the protagonist to answer and will attack them if they give out the wrong answer. Later on, she becomes fully hostile and will begin chasing them in the assembly room, only to be tricked by the protagonist into getting abducted by Jumbo Josh. In Garten of BanBan 3, she was held in Jumbo Josh's super secret lounge as Jumbo Josh believed that she is a lifeless doll. As he always makes sure that everything is in their place when he comes to monitor, this allowed Banbaleena and the protagonist to use it to their advantage in escaping. After escaping Jumbo Josh's lounge, Banbaleena takes an elevator to return to class, though she'll warn the protagonist to not miss it. Jumbo Josh, a giant, green humanoid monster who encourages kids to eat healthy food and become strong. He appears at the end of Garten of BanBan while the protagonist is riding down a red lift, where he climbs up to it and prepares to attack, before the lift collapses and he presumably falls and gets crushed to death. However, in Garten of BanBan 2, it is shown that Jumbo Josh had survived the fall, as he is later seen chasing after the player in Opila Bird's hallway, along with Banbaleena, trying to block off the ways to escape. He then abducts Banbaleena. In Garten of BanBan 3, Jumbo Josh is the monitor of his own super secret lounge, as he has to make sure that everything is in place in the room. Later, near the end of the game, he saves the protagonist from a hijacked BanBan, who attempts to eat the protagonist's pancreas but soon gets into a fight with Stinger Flynn. Opila Bird, a pink, bird-like monster whose depiction form believes that laughter is the best medicine and reminds children to smile. This does not reflect the feelings of the real monster Opila Bird. She serves as the first antagonist in the series as well as the main antagonist of Garten of BanBan. Opila Bird, throughout most of the game, appears to look motionless, encouraging the protagonist to feed her 8 eggs before revealing a keycard in her beak. However, after the protagonist retrieves an orange keycard from the other side of the empty ball pit, Opila proceeded to follow them with the intention of killing them. This forces the protagonist to run down a path through the ball pit and use the keycard to collapse the path. This forces Opila Bird to make a desperate attempt to reach them by trying to jump at them, only for her to miss the ledge and she presumably falls to her death. However, in Garten of BanBan 2, it is revealed that Opila survived the fall. She first chases the protagonist down the hallway, but they are saved by Banbaleena. NabNab, sometimes referred to as the Twisted One. NabNab is a tall, lanky indigo humanoid monster with 3 eyes. He also wears 1 gray party hat, in contrast to BanBan's 2 red party hats. In fact, the name NabNab is BanBan backwards. He resides in the underground maintenance facility where he likes to hang from the ceiling and wait for the right moment to attack. He teaches kids that it's okay to not have any friends, like he does. He is seemingly the outcast of the entire BanBan family. In Garten of BanBan 3, it is revealed that he has a female counterpart of him. Slow Seline, a giant yellow snail, who despite being slow, is quick to help those in need. After the protagonist reunites Opila with her chicks, Seline appears in the hallway. The player is required to move when her eyes are looking under the doors, and to stop when her eyes return back to their original places. Otherwise, she'll spot the player, and immediately dash into them, which results in an instant death. She reappears at the end of Garten of BanBan 2, staring at the player while waving her head before disappearing as the player continues to ride the elevator down into the abyss. In Garten of BanBan 3, Slow Seline only appears in one of Stinger Flynn's flashbacks. Tarta Bird, a cyan-colored bird-like monster whose is the male counterpart of Opila Bird. He urges people to protect their loved ones and that they'll love them back the same. His model is nearly identical to Opila's, but the body is cyan, his wings and crest are colored red and his beak is orange. While Opila Bird's screeches are high-pitched, the screeches of Tarta Bird are low-pitched. He first appears in Garten of BanBan 3, where he carries the protagonist to safety from a hijacked BanBan. When a fight ensues amongst Jumbo Josh, BanBan, and Stinger Flynn, Tarta Bird takes the protagonist to a higher and safer area before dropping them off. While he looks down at the fight, Jumbo Josh throws Stinger Flynn to the ground so hard it causes everything to shake, causing Tarta Bird to lose his balance and fall to his presumed death. However, in Garten of BanBan IV, he is revealed to have survived and was kept in containment alongside Opila Bird. However, after the naughty ones escaped from Queen Bouncelia's pouch, Tarta Bird was released by Sheriff Toadster. Tamataki Chamataki, a cyan-colored turtle and chameleon hybrid mascot. The right head, Tamataki, is that of a turtle while the left head, which is Chamataki, takes the appearance of a chameleon. They first appear in one of Stinger Flynn's hallucinations when the protagonist runs towards a door. The latter has to fight them in order to retrieve the party hats needed for Mr. Kebab Man, Stinger Flynn, an orange, jellyfish-like monster who tells kids that having many arms allows him to help lots of people. Just like with Captain Fiddles, not much is known about him. He serves as Garten of BanBan II's main antagonist. Whilst initially serving as an ally to the player, he is immediately angered over the player's refusal to leave, and continuing their mission to find their child. In retaliation, Stinger Flynn turns on the player, and sends out a hijacked BanBan to kill them. Later, he was knocked out in a fight with BanBan and Jumbo Josh. In Garten of BanBan IV, he was taken prisoner by Sheriff Toadster before being later released by the latter. Bittergiggle, a humanoid lavender and mint-colored mascot who used to be the jester of Queen Bouncelia's kingdom but ends up going rogue due to making terrible jokes as well as his inability to make Bouncelia laugh, which would have disastrous consequences if it were to occur. Bittergiggle serves as the main antagonist of Garten of BanBan 4 and will make a return in Garten of BanBan 6. Nabnaleena. She is a black spider-like monster that is nearly identical in appearance to NabNab. She tells children that there is a right person for everybody and that they just need to look. In Garten of BanBan 3, she first appears as a seemingly dead corpse and the protagonist is required to go through a medical procedure to restore back to life in order to make NabNab decrease his aggression. Sheriff Toadster, a brown frog-like monster that resembles a sheriff. He also seems to have an unnaturally large smile, and he encourages kids to treat others with respect. He serves as the protector and law enforcer of Queen Bouncelia's kingdom and is one of the only monsters, alongside the latter, who helps the protagonist in finding their missing child. Sheriff Toadster made his debut in Garten of BanBan 4 and will return in Garten of BanBan 6. Zolphius, a large entity made of pure givanium and a mutant among the monsters. His artwork depicts him as a large happy head alongside the jester and Tamataki Chamataki. He first appears in Garten of BanBan 2, stalking the player above the abyss, and reappears again in Garten of BanBan 3, appearing in an ocean in one of Stinger Flynn's hallucinations. However, if the player finds a secret audio disc from a secret room in the B2 medical sector and plays it on a big speaker, this will make Zolphius physically appear. Once he is encountered, he can heard saying, "I'm sorry." Queen Bouncelia, a purple-colored kangaroo-like monster whose drawing depicts her as a queen, in which she wears a crown and is holding a scepter with a heart on it. In her pouch, she holds the naughty ones. Queen Bouncelia's motto is, "Jump as much you like, but never to conclusions." While her depiction is seen in Garten of BanBan 3, her physical model never appeared. She made her first physical appearance in Garten of BanBan IV, where she is one of the few monsters who helps the protagonist in finding their missing child. Jumbo Josh, Opila Bird, and Captain Fiddles are the only monsters to have colored counterparts. BanBan and NabNab are also included if their female counterparts are counted. Plenty of people criticized the resemblance of the monsters' designs to some of the toys from Poppy Playtime and to the Rainbow Friends from the titular game. Strangely, on the screen where you have click on the clock in Garten of BanBan 3, Queen Bouncelia is mistakenly named as Queen Leapcelia, although it could be possible that it was an early name for her.